Porosity is simply the hair's ability to absorb moisture. As a hair care expert, I see three types of porosity out there. Usually it's low porosity, medium porosity, or high porosity. Low porosity is a hair that usually I like to liken it to a brick. It's very closed. The shaft of that hair is completely shut usually, and moisture tends to get in, if any at all. It's very little. That hair is typically rough, very dry, very brittle, and needs to be treated a certain way in order for the hair to soften and continue to maintain moisture. The next one is medium porosity. Medium porosity is what we consider in the industry a well-maintained head of hair. Usually it's quote-unquote normal, and what that means, it absorbs just enough moisture for whatever it needs and it releases the rest. It has this great ebb and flow with it. It takes just what it needs and it eliminates the rest. That is typically a normal head of porosity, or medium. High porosity is hair that is very tricky because it absorbs a lot of moisture, but it doesn't retain it. So that hair, usually it's over processed, usually it's been bleached out, or it's been overly processed chemically, and sometimes mechanically. That's using flat irons and heat blow dryers excessively. That hair is typically, the only way to treat it is to cut it or to clip it. It can sometimes be treated over time, but what has happened to that hair is the strands of that hair, the cuticle has either been completely open or is open way too much to where it won't hold any type of moisture. So the moisture goes in, and when it goes in, it's kind of like a gummy feel. If you ever washed your hair, and sometimes you see it in hair that has been colored or bleached, if you will, or lightened, you see that hair feels real gummy and real just messy feeling. It doesn't have any life and texture to it. Usually that head of hair has a very high porosity, and it has to be treated a certain way because it is very, very fragile. So there you have it. We have low porosity, medium porosity, and high porosity. There's a simple high porosity test that you can do for your hair. What you do is take a strand of your own hair. We all lose about 70 to 100 strands daily. Take a strand of that hair, get you a glass of clear water, a clean glass of a clear room temperature water. Take that strand of hair, drop it into that glass of water. See where it falls within the glass. If it maintains at the top somewhere, then that hair is probably low porosity. If it goes right around the middle and kind of swims around there, then it possibly is normal porosity, which is a good thing. But if it sinks all the way down to the bottom and it just meddles down there at the bottom, then more than likely your head is high porosity. You can also do this test with just the feel of your hair sometimes. Usually you can tell if the cuticle is very tight or if it's blown out. You can feel the hair, it feels straw and hay-like usually when it's high porosity. When it's normal porosity, usually it has great condition, great shine. The ends look very healthy. And usually when it's low porosity, it's very rough and highly textured. And I want to make sure I explain that properly, because textured hair is not always low porosity, but usually if you feel the hair and it's very, very rough and coily, sometimes that hair can be considered low porosity, and that's not a bad thing, because usually that head of hair is pretty strong and can endure a lot if it is properly treated. So you want to be able to add the moisture that you need by using correct products and continue to your styling regimen so that you protect that hair, whatever level of porosity that you have. But that is what we have today, porosity. Thank you so much for buying the book, the ebook, Let's Talk Hair. I am Cornell Germain. Listen, if you have any more hair care questions, hashtag consult Cornell on IG or Facebook, or at Cornell Germain on IG or Facebook. Hit me up, let me know your hair care questions. I'll do my best to give you my professional advice, and hopefully you'll see amazing results. Until next time, have a beautiful day.